Hello, welcome here in Greece, in Crete, in Ierapetra, the southernmost city of Europe, blah blah blah. My name is Nicolas Evantinos. This is my name when I write poetry and I sing my songs. Nicolas Evantinos. I'm 40 years old. I have written 6 poetical books and I've been translated in English, French, in Finnish, and I think that I will be translated in Italy in about maybe 2023 this year, because my last book had a relation with to Dantes and to Divine Comedy, my last poetical book. I have nothing else to say. Yes.
Okay. When did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
My first poem was written when I was 17, and of course it had to do with love. I was in love with a girl and I was reading a poem, a romantic one, Greek romantic poem, and I was crying, I didn't know why. So I expressed myself writing. After that I was more serious and I started to read Greek poetry. There's no particular point than when I realized I am a writer. In Greece, being a writer is it's not, you cannot live from your books. It's very difficult unless you are dead. So if you are dead, you are very famous and you have a very big name and etc. But I have no option. I have no choice. I think that this is what I am made to do.
When do you know a book is ready to be published? When do you know it's good enough?
It depends on what spiritual level I am. There are many times that I've been mistaken. I thought it was good. It happened once in my 4th book. And then I realized after 1-2 years that I should change that.
Have you ever catch yourself to losing control or finding control as you writing, or the emotional impact?
When I write a good poem or something, I think that, okay, I achieved something, small or big, but there is a sense of completeness. It lasts for about 2 or 3 minutes. That's all. And we live again. We swim into life. So no, I don't write to solve my psychological things.
What's your favorite book of yours?
Mine.
Yeah. Yes.
My last one, because I wrote it with a friend of mine. It's called Comedy. It has to do with Divine Comedy of Dantes, and we were 2 writers, two poets who wrote this book. Me and my friend Yannis Stikas, who is a very important, I think, one of the best, maybe the best Greek poet living now. And we cooperated together in days 2 years ago, and we made a book it had 3 parts. It was Hell, Kathartirio in Greek, and Paradise, the 3rd part. And me and John made a big Kathartirio with 97 poems in it. And I wrote 48 poems, and we were discussing the process of writing in each poem, in each lyric, and it was an incredible experience.
What inspires you in order to write the book?
As I said, each book has a theme, it's different than the other. So my inspiration, it could be a word. For example, there's a word, ligosádiko in Greek, which is not very easy to translate. It's when the moon is not full, it's like a half moon, and at the old ages, people used to cut their wood like so the wood would be more solid. From this word, a book began.
Does writing energize you or exhaust you?
Both of them, mostly exhausting, and I feel it in my body also, on physically. It's a very strange thing, but I am diabetic, so if I write something good, after that my blood sugar is always high. It's something that I have seen in these years, and I can say that writing poetry, being in this spiritual exercise, is also has an impact to your body, also to your physical condition.
Have you ever catch yourself to losing control or finding control as you writing?
When I write a good poem or something, when I think that, okay, I achieved something, there is a sense of completeness. It lasts for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then we live again. We swim into life.
Okay.
So, no, I don't write to solve my psychological things.
How long does it take you to write a book?
Well, it's about 2-3 years. Poetry is very different. It's not like a novel. I write something now and maybe this poem will appear in 10 years. So I have a concept in my mind for each poetical book, and I write, and then I look what I have written 10 years before, 15 years before, 5 years, and I collect my work, and I combine them, I delete, I add. So this process is about 2-3 years.
How does it feel like to be a multitasker?
For me, it's all things are one, and begins and ends in poetry. In Greek, poem, which comes from the ancient verb po, which means make. Make songs, you make poems, but you make something, you are a creator. Something like that. I feel like a creator. The form I love, and I think that this is the level is very high, is poetry, but also songs and music. I love music because you don't have to read and know anything, just listen. It's more direct. No, there's no. Only I wish sometimes that I wish that it was not only for 24 hours, but it's my problem. I have to relax. This question goes to the guys from Portugal, Sweden, Czech Republic, and Spain. In your schools, literature and poetry is taught with the way that you are inspired, or it's like here that lesson and like any lesson and you are a little bored and true. How? Where to start? Sweden.
Well,
I speak about the way, not the person that teach you.
yeah, well, it depends. Sweden, we mostly read Greek poetry, actually. Like our school book has like translated text from other countries. So it's kind of inspiring in that way, that it is from another culture. But I'm not a big fan of poetry, but it's not like it's not boring. So I guess I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay. Sweden is the main cause that Greece has 2 Nobels. You know, the Greek translations from Seferis and Elitis began from Sweden. You, in your school?
It's hard sometimes to like have a concept like. I feel like there's a lot of poems that you first need to understand the history behind them, and you need to have like a class more like not so inspiring, let's say. So then you can understand the poem and you can actually like understand what the writer is saying. But it gives you a lot of perspective. It gives you a lot of like knowledge about all of these ways that they wrote and so many types of poems. Like I understand. I even think like Portuguese class, it should be like that. I think if we want like inspired and to write, I think we should have like a separate thing where we can like feel like we can write and we can.
Yes, to be part of it.
Yes.
You in Czech Republic?
So in the Czech Republic, we are supposed to go by the book and basically we learn dates, but we don't really read much. We have reading to do at home and we do our own book list. And then in the graduation exam, you get a book and you talk mostly about linguistical stuff and not about the book.
Linguistic stuff,
Yeah, not really about the book. But with Mr. Gainza, we had him for like 2 years for Czech, and we actually like dove deep into the book and constructed it from the bottom up. And we like read into it why the poet wrote it, like what influenced him and stuff like that.
Well,
so it was very nice. It basically depends on the teacher.
It depends on the teacher. It plays a role, eh?
Yeah.
Congrats. And you?
Oh, I can answer this question because he is my. No, yeah. In Spain, this is like a very subject because you have to only read and you. It's quite interesting because you know the history of a lot of writers, a lot of important books. You get a lot of knowledge, but in Spain, I think that nobody like this.
Really, eh? You know, you are one of the big powers worldwide in literature. You have, I don't know, you are how is a US Dream Team in NBA in basketball? It's kind of Spain in literature.
Yeah.
You invented modern times with Miguel de Cervantes. You invented the modern times begin with this book, and you have great poets. Sorry. So I want to close like this, if you don't mind. Okay, I will be sad now, but I think poetry is dying. And the written one, the art which is in these books is dying, and it's dying because. What's your name?
Zaro. My name? Zaro.
Zaro. Okay. You said that nobody really interests or read or something like that. I have read in some, fiestas and fiestas of reading, and we are 10 people, 12, 15, and you think that the poetry is dying, but there is a very big, otherwise, but you feel inside you that when a poem of Kavafis, or a poem of Holu, or a poem of Pessoa, I said before, Neruda, or I don't know, when it reaches to a 15-year-old guy or a girl in a proper way, it's like bloom.
Yeah.
It's a bloom. And it changed lives. So in commercial terms, in the modern capitalism world and all this stuff, poetry does not exist. But this is its power. That exactly is its power, poetry's power, because it can never end. It can never die. You think it's dying. But there is, it has to be one just poem. Or song, if you are not fan of poetry. You can find it in music. And so I'm very optimistic. And I would like to speak better English so I could express myself the way I express it in Greek and to have more time with you. speak about art.